drowned in misery's love, in misery's love, in misery's love.
Is Lavender with you?
She's at the house. She arrived yesterday. You made it. Come here, come here.
Would you at least call Mom? I'm sick of her asking.
Can I walk you home?
I got it.
Dylan.
Dylan.
There's this girl.
Did you talk to her?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. The young and in love.
Do you want to go to a party tonight?
With you?
To be a writer is like handing the reader a map to your soul in hopes that somebody gets it or feels it.
Cannot disrupt the process.
Not even published yet.
No, but you will be.
Are you gonna forgive her?
She's off doing whatever the hell she does on tour. How can you even trust her?
Does she even know?
No.
There's just no point
And having a conversation?
in getting to know me.
Mom?
We'll be just fine. Strength is staying when things get hard.
She came back.
She left when you needed her.
It's okay. It's okay.
I watched my dad hurt from one messed up decision she made. I don't want to be like her.
You spew this bullshit about love, then claim to avoid love altogether.
You're gonna have to forgive yourself for the choices that you've made.
Maybe I was just afraid you wouldn't come back if you knew the truth.
Dad, I can't breathe.
Hey. Tell me like I would tell you.
Nobody knows what it's like to be you, and for that reason, you're enough.
So welcome, everyone. You know we love to hear about new movies here on Big Blend Radio, and we found a really cool one, and it's called Hi. And you can go to the website and encourage you to do that because it's out on November 1st. It's called hithemovie.com. And this is where I like to say the word hi is a complete sentence. And today we have Olivia Nash, the actor, writer, and filmmaker, director here. So welcome, Olivia.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa.
This is a cool movie. So yeah, so we can say hi is a complete sentence.
Yes, absolutely. That's why there's the period.
I know. I was like that. That's it. Full stop. Yeah.
Full stop.
Full stop. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the movie for everyone to have an overview so I don't tell everybody everything because I want to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a coming of age romance with 3 different love stories happening in one summer from parent to college to teen. And they're dealing with forgiveness within themselves from their past traumas.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, I thought. And really getting into kind of like everyone's what's going on in the world and traumatic things too that have happened and how to get through that and even to do it at a young age is to get past that so it's not staying with you forever.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly kind of the direction and what I was looking for is to get this to young people and kind of bring that light to them is like even though things can happen to you during this time, you don't have to hold on to them as you grow.
Yeah, because we tend to, when something negative happens or traumatic, which can be a life lessons, right? We tend to start adding to them and making them sometimes bigger and closing doors to ourselves. I think your character definitely was that she was fighting with herself a lot.
Yeah. She was holding back from growing for sure. She wanted to kind of stay in the same place because her traumas were kind of holding her back. And I think a lot of us deal with that.
And put up walls.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you talk about that in there too. So everybody involved in this, right? There's a creative side to it. So I love that part of it because you're dealing with writers. You've got, 3, 4, how many writers? Oh my gosh. Writers are prominent in this. So if you're a writer, you're going to love this. An aspiring writer, you're going to love that part too. And then, it's even having, the father with a bakery. I'm going, well, that's creative too. So there's a lot of people in there that are touched by the creative gene, and I think that that also adds to sensitivities. Did you think of it? Is that part of why that went that way with the creative side, other than you're creative?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time, like, creatives deal with a darker side to them, even in comedy, there's a lot of dark undertone to it. So I just kind of wanted to dive into that and what that can look like for people that do have that creative side, and all of us, I mean, I think all of humans have some sort of creativity
Yeah.
in them. Yeah.
So where did this idea come from for you?
Yeah, it started as a form of therapy for me in 2020. There's a mix of like some things that I was dealing in my own home life versus like, a ton of like fictional that I've added in and kind of weaving that in together.
Wow. Did you know you were going to make it as a film, or were you writing it
Yeah.
as more of a story?
Yeah, so I was writing it as a film. I had started screenwriting a little bit after college when I graduated. And so it had been this was my third feature that I had written. And I was looking at it for the previous 2 that I had written are 1920s pieces, and I was like, I wanna really dive into something that's more present day, something that is potential that I could get made more current
Mm.
right now. And so I was like, "Okay, let me think on that story," and that came to me in 2020 where I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna sit down and really dive into these groups of characters and let the characters, lead this story."
Yeah, it's the dynamics are fascinating. There's just all these different dynamics like brother and sister, and then the parents having their own stuff going on and just, and it's all in this incredibly gorgeous setting, this coastal town, this seaside town. So
Yeah.
yeah, where did you shoot that? I know it's supposed to be a fictional town, but
Yes, yes.
where was that?
Yeah, so part of it was in Austin, Texas, a lot of where we shot was, and then for a little over a week, we were in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, in Falmouth, kind of around the Martha's Vineyard area.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like looking at the houses, and one point I'm like, were they in Port Aransas because of the way that area
Mhm.
has some nice coastal,
Yeah, yeah, we did think about shooting at the Texas coast, but for this specific story, I was like, "No, I really need the beautiful waters that you would see,
that rugged.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
instead of darker, I really wanted vibrant color, and that was
Mhm.
what led me to Massachusetts.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so yeah, filming this, I mean, it's amazing how much you can do with just like a smaller crew of people, right? For
Right.
the cast, and you had the right people, and it seems like, yeah. How long did it take to film all of that?
Yeah, we shot in 21 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
happens with indie films. You have to move it.
yeah.
You don't get it's same as music, when you're recording music, you can't sit there and keep paying for rehearsal space, for
Oh,
too long.
absolutely, and this being, my first feature, we really had to focus in on trying to get this done in 21 days, and the scheduling was so important with that.
Right. So everybody had to be on it before you even started.
Yeah, everybody had to I really, found my crew first and then went into casting and just brought them the story and was like, "I would love to have you on board," but I really wanted because we were gonna be such a tight crew and cast, like, I wanted them to read the story, and if it meant something to them, then have them come on board, and so
Mm.
there was a big conversation ahead of time before even going through the hiring.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So the whole cast, everyone's like perfect for their role, right?
Right, yes, I totally agree.
They were a bit, and the other part that I thought was so cool about it is that you showcase here's this beautiful area, and like the quaint bakery. The bakery was like surreal. Like that was a trippy. The bakeries. I want to go to the bakery, y'all.
Yeah, right.
I
I
want to go to the
know.
bakery.
Me too.
But and all the water and the boats and everything is just so idyllic. But it also always shows like in something we tend to forget in life, especially with celebrity.
Mhm.
Is, oh, look at the big mansions, look at the beautiful homes, and we forget what goes on behind those closed doors. And then I wrote that big when I was watching it last night. What goes on behind closed doors? And it's not about the beautiful mansion, right? Even though that was a gorgeous house with the pond. I'm just gonna say
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah,
that
the
house was cool.
locations were just oh my they were gorgeous, and
But
yeah.
it was like this complete opposite of what was happening,
Right, and
right?
that's yeah, you definitely hit on it. That's exactly what I was looking for, is, like, on the outside, everything looks really, really beautiful, but on the inside, you're dealing with so many flaws, and so, like, anytime they're out in public, it's, like, gorgeous and beautiful to look at, and then sometimes when we go inside of the homes, it's a little duller, and you start to see some of those flaws breaking down within.
Mm. And
Yeah.
so for each of the cast, they had to be kind of identified with that at some place because I think you're going to identify with each of the characters in some place
Mhm.
somehow. We've all been that there in some shape or form, you know? So for them, it had to be fun. I mean, 21 days and it's 21 days like from,
So we did have some breaks, like, we did have on the weekends, I think we had, 2 Sundays, so, like, we only had, like, a day off, 2 days off, I think, a couple days off, and even then, like, for me, I was still shooting, like, B-roll in between on those days off, so I really didn't, but I made sure that other people did for sure.
so you were doing filming as well on top of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would be with, my DP, and sometimes, like, during one of our days off, we were like, "You know, why don't we just go capture some B-roll of things that, we're by the water, let's just go get it right now," and I think that happens a lot with indie film, you're like, "Actually, we have the time, we're rested, let's just go do it now."
Get it done so you don't
Yeah.
have to worry like, "Oh, I need to fly back to Massachusetts."
Right, let's not do a pickup day up in Massachusetts again. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And I think everyone, the actors, everyone knows it's like get it done and do it as
Mhm.
best you can, to get it together. What is it like going from writing it to watching it come to life and then sitting it down? And the editing is one of the biggest parts of time, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. It's I think everybody describes it as each element is like a different version of the story, right? So like from the beginning of writing it as a script when you're on set versus then into post, it's like a different way of forming the story to the very end. I would say like when I started writing it, it was, it's just me. Like I was sitting there imagining this world, something beautiful. And then when you go into production, it's like, oh my God, I created this. Like we're building this. And what's amazing is I had just such a great cast and crew that brought even more to what I had written, right? Like they leveled it up to what was on the page and just brought their own twist to certain things with the characters or even the design and the wardrobe. Like they brought things to me and I loved that collaboration process. So it added to the building of the story, even into post. And like it was me and my editor, who was also my director of photography on set. So we kind of knew going into the edit what we were looking for. But then sitting down in post, it was like we got to play, which was really nice. And I don't think you get to do that very often in film. And we just had such a great repertoire from already working in development and pre-production together as like director of photography and director into now editor. I think we were just able to really focus in on the characters, and that's what I love about Daniel so much is everything came down to the characters in the story, even in the edit, and he made sure that we captured that to the end.
Well, it felt very intimate and in a way theatrical. I don't know how to explain it because you're out in this beautiful setting, but it felt like you were connected to the characters like if you were in a play. You know what I mean? Which is a
Uh,
very different kind of feeling to get from a movie. Normally it's like, here's the big screen and bang, all this stuff. But this was like it's like listening to a live album, which is always better than the overproduced, right? So
yeah.
and you guys just had this dynamic. There's the dynamics of the characters and everything, but there's a dynamic in how the film came through, the flow, and like everybody had routines, which is
Yeah.
something really interesting. And like the family had a routine, like every morning he's going out to the pond. So as a viewer, you're going in these routines and you start to go, okay, I'm getting the setup of what life is like there and who does what. And but it was theatrical in that way, like intimate, you know?
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love how you put
Yeah.
that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, showcasing in this film, like, I really wanted to find like the reality in it. Like
Mhm.
people dealing with mental health, like it looks in so many different ways. And in this story, it's like a lot of the time you don't see what someone's dealing with. And there can be
Mhm.
some out in public and they're smiling, they're laughing, they're having fun, but deep down they're depressed, they're super sad, they're dealing
Yeah.
with so much. And that's what I kind of wanted to showcase in this, that sometimes films put so much dramatics on mental health and like there's different ways to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think and also looking at the parents, like when they each, had their moment of, I'm out of this family for a bit. The walk away, that happens a lot. It just some people it's a coping mechanism that's not understood and
Yeah.
people are put down over that and it's not understood. And everybody needs to be able to follow what they want too.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I think a lot of the time in film when we're looking at coming of age stories is we're always so focused on the young people, right? And like I wanted to bring in like what it looks like for the parents in those type of stories because they're humans too. They're not just the parents. Like they're also people. They have their issues, they have their traumas, things that they wanted to do things in life and maybe they accomplished it, maybe they didn't, but they're happy with where they are, but they still have those struggles. And I wanted to show like this is what can happen, but also lead into like how young people maybe that is put onto them and they're dealing with their own stuff plus dealing with their parents. We don't see that very often in those types of
Mm.
films.
I also thought it was great because it showed people doing things differently and it being okay. Like, for example, the writers of it all, right? I thought that was interesting where, you know, one's using a typewriter, one's using a computer and has a certain, like you sitting there, I've got my beach and I'm dressed as though I'm in New York City, and I'm
Yeah,
writing as my business, very
yeah,
professional. And
yeah,
then you've got your brother in the film sitting there like on the floor with his laptop
yeah,
trying and people going, what, you think you can write kind of thing? And so
yeah.
there's so many things I'm not allowed to, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
But I think that kind of balance of the whole family in writing and creativity is an interesting thing to be able to share the same space. That's a very difficult thing because competitiveness can sometimes come through. And especially we're a mother-daughter team here is our business. And it's like, I've grown into certain shoes and it's like you help each other and we come from things completely different. And I think that's a fantastic thing. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. And like that's the thing is like with the mom in the story being a Pulitzer Prize winning novelist, right? Like those pressures sometimes can go on to the kids. And whether like with Lavender truly she wants to be this writer, but then she feels like she's in the shadow of her mom, where like then there's the contrast of like Daniel the brother who doesn't really know what he wants yet. He's 16,
Mhm.
but he thinks he has to do something like them because that is what the business is. And it can kind of show like people that you don't really at that age, you don't have to know. You don't have to go in the direction of like what your parents were doing, but
Mhm.
do want that, then that's okay too.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, even right now, when we look at what's happening in entertainment. The kids are coming through now. The parents are like hanging up their hat, and now we're seeing these different generations in film and music and writing. And you're like, okay. And everyone compares. And it's like, you're in Austin. So like Lucas Nelson, Willie Nelson's son was on our
Yeah.
show. And I'm like, okay, I'm not bringing up Willie. Not at all. I'm not talking about Willie
Yeah.
because he's his own thing. He does have a similarity of voice. That's the
Yeah.
truth. And he's an incredible songwriter, like and so is Micah. He's awesome
Yeah.
too. But
Yeah.
we sat there, we're like, we're not talking about it. It's all about him. And he comes on, and
Yeah.
then he told us the craziest stories about Willie Nelson I've ever heard in my life. Like his
Yeah.
one of his wives tied him to a bed with forks, Put that in the next movie, but
So, yeah. It's
it
the
just
next thing.
and it's a whole other story. But it was up to him to make that decision, you know,
Absolutely, yeah, and, like,
you
I
know.
that's different for everybody, right? Like, he was open to wanting to talk about his dad and, like, then there's people that are like, "No, I wanna focus on my career and what I'm doing," and that's okay. Like, either one is okay, and that's even in the film, like, that's what I was trying to show too is, like,
Mhm.
everybody's different, and it's okay to choose your path.
Exactly. I love this. I love this. So what was it like going out on the circuit? Because I know you did some film festivals, right?
We didn't end up doing really any film festivals. We did during when I made a proof of concept for the film, we did get into a festival. But other than that, like we didn't really do the festival circuit.
Okay. So yeah, I
Yeah.
saw something about it, but I don't know. I think it was you're having an event before. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
we're
what it is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We're having our Austin premiere on October 29th, so that's coming up next week. And then we also had our premiere in LA.
Sweet, sweet. So that's what I was
Yeah.
seeing. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. So how was that going out there and now doing that and seeing this whole, with this being your debut, this whole, pathway of how this all works? How is that feeling for you?
It's good. Yeah, I think like everything, like I've been having a really good time with it, and it's all just like a learning process, right? Especially going in with your first film. Like I kind of keep an open mind with the process and what's going on, but I've just been really having a good time, and like going out to LA, it was cool because a lot of my cast members, they used to live here, but then they ended up moving to LA, and so it was
Mm,
almost like a little reunion for us, and it was so nice to get to see them and just catch up, and it just felt like
cool.
family again.
It's going to be fun to be able to just turn it on your TV and there it is, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
That is cool. So everyone, November 1st, and I believe this is airing on Halloween because we're like that around here. We like that. We like that day. But this is going to be out. So VOD, it's Apple TV, Prime Video, Fandango, and you can go to hidethemovie.com. So those are the main places where people can get it.
So it'll be Apple TV and Amazon.
And
Yes.
Amazon. Awesome. So go
Yeah.
get it. Go watch it. We'll be able to watch it here. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Get to watch it again. But
Yeah.
congratulations. Do you have anything else you're working on now that you've done the full spectrum of this? Are you going to do something else like this?
Absolutely. There's, of course, projects in the works, which I can't say too much about, but I'm very, very excited. We're already starting to go into development for the next. So,
Sweet. Well,
yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait. We're always here. So
Yes.
wherever we are, we're here. All right.
Love
Well,
it.
thank you so much, Olivia. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me on.
You bet. Thanks for listening to Big Blend Radio's Toast to the Art Show. Please keep up with us at bigblendradio.com and keep up with Big Blend magazines at blendradioandtv.com.